According to my source, the end of the world will be on February 14th in the year 2016.
Valentine's Day. Bummer.
It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to another edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine, the show where we eat psychics for breakfast. I am your host, Stimulator, and as with most shows, let's just start with oil. As the price of crude was hitting another record at $135 a barrel, peak oil deniers were busily trying to erase their erroneous predictions. The most prominent prophet of this stupidity is this goofy-looking motherfucker right here. Dr. Daniel Yergin has been an oil industry bitch for some time. You know, one of those people who gets paid handsomely to say everything is going to be okay.
You said 57 to 58, that's for this year. What about 08?
We would, at this point, we'd be looking at about $4 lower.
That was the doctor back in February of 2007, and his crack rock ball told him we will be looking at about $54 a barrel or so this year. But let's fast forward to August of the same year.
Have you changed any of your view on what a fair price for a barrel of crude should be right now?
No, we are still seeing this year, we think, at the prices in the low 70s, as long as there are no major disruptions. And next year, we think the price is several dollars lower, perhaps mid-60s, as the supply-demand balance looks different.
One wonders how one sensible, promising young man could turn into such a fucking corporate tool. Here's Yergin back in the 70s with a little more hair, brains, and common fucking sense.
Americans have grown up with a vision of unlimited resources, of endless abundance, and for much of our history that has been the case. But in the last decade, we've run into a problem where we have constraints, where there are limits now.
These days, Yergin still denies peak oil has anything to do with crude prices, but safely predicts oil prices to hit $150 a barrel this year. Sad, isn't it? Steering the shit stew a little bit more is Iran. In a story that has received very little media coverage, the world's fourth largest producer of oil declared that it will no longer trade crude in dollars, and will now switch to the euro and the yen. Let's see how much buying power that stimulus check you should be getting anytime now gets you. But enough about oil. That shit's fucking boring. On to a more interesting subject. Coal. Earth First activists blocked the entrance to Dominion Power's James River headquarters for several hours, causing a major traffic jam. The activists are opposing plans to build a new coal-fired power plant in Wise County, Virginia. As expected, the Popo took sides with the corporate polluters, but it took them some time to figure out how to unlock the activists from their cement-filled trash cans. Another eco-defender, Eric McDavid, was sentenced to 19 years in prison for allegedly plotting to blow up a dam and a forest genetics research facility. The case is the latest chapter in the Green Scare, a witch hunt against so-called Eco Terrorists, but more on that on the second half of the show. This instance is alarming because of the lengths the feds will go to entrap people in the movement. The FBI contracted an infiltrator named Anna, who supplied the explosive materials and diagrams, and a safe house where plans and bombs could be made. If you would like to send letters of support to Eric, visit his website, supporteric.org. And the show would not be the same without a quote from our favorite stand-up comedian.
Some seem to believe that we should negotiate with the terrorists and radicals as if some ingenious argument will persuade them they have been wrong all along. We've heard this foolish delusion before. As Nazi tanks crossed into Poland in 1939, an American senator declared, "Lord, if I could only have talked to Hitler, all this might have been avoided."
Now, wait a goddamn minute. Did he really mean that? The ass-wiping corporate media has been making a big fucking deal about this quote and the connection to Barack Obama's intention to negotiate with Iran. But those incompetent meat puppets completely missed the point. Resident Douchebag is completely right about this. Now, before you call me crazy, just hear me out. Let's say that instead of saying Hitler, he would have said, I don't know, Bush. Listen.
Lord, if I could only have talked to George W., all this might have been avoided.
Well, millions of us have been trying to talk to Bush, but the motherfucker just won't listen. So what is this dim-witted son of a bitch really trying to tell us?
If Nazis or other fascists took over North America, what would we all do? What would we do if they implemented Mussolini's definition of fascism? Fascism should more appropriately be called corporatism because it's a merger of state and corporate power. What if this occupied country called itself a democracy, but most everyone understood elections to be shams, with citizens allowed to choose between different wings of the same fascist or following Mussolini corporate party? What if anti-government activity was opposed by stormtroopers and secret police? Would you fight back? If there already existed a resistance movement, would you join it? Would you resist if the fascists irradiated the countryside, poisoned food supplies, made rivers unfit for swimming, and so filthy you wouldn't even dream of drinking from them anymore? If fascists systematically deforested the continent, would you join an underground army of resistance, head to the forests, and from there to boardrooms in the halls of the Reichstag to pick off the occupying deforesters, and most especially those who give them the marching orders?
That was a clip from Submedia's upcoming film And Ziv, inspired by the writings of Derek Jensen. We are currently working on this project and are planning the street coverage of the Republicrat conventions. Yep, this is the type of shit you don't get to see on CNN or Fox. And since we are not sucking on that corporate teat, we rely on viewers for support. In the coming weeks, you'll be getting a little kickback from the president. So since you'll have a little extra cash, why not throw some our way and help us make these projects a reality? To help us out, simply go to stimulator.tv and click on the Stimulator Stimulating Stimulus package, where you can get some swag in exchange for some of your much depreciated greenbacks. You don't have to watch this show to know that we are fucking up the world in a hurry. Some environmental activists feel that the time to ask nicely is over, and that we have limited time to stop corporations from fucking shit up. So, they blow shit up. The feds call them terrorists, but they call themselves the ELF or ELF. To find out more about the ELF, I spoke with Dr. Michael Becker, a professor of political science at California State University and co-author of Igniting a Revolution. Hey Mike, how the fuck are you?